Yeah. CQ, calling the world from down under. This is Vk3AMP. Let's not let the silence linger. I press the mic on my Yaesu FTdx 101 and light up my Vk3AMP. I'm out of Marvel ready. Let's keep our bands alive. On these bands, we gotta stay alive through the static, letting our signals thrive from Sydney to Perth. We're connecting the dots around the globe, in the hot and the cold spots, one call at a time. I'm making it clear, ham radio lifestyle, all the friends I hold dear.
Tuning in, searching for signals to share. Communication's key, let's show we care.
CQ, let the world hear my call. Vk3AMP, reaching out to them all. No matter the distance, we're breaking the ice. Ham life's unique, a thrill with every slice. Hey. Every QSO, a new story to unfold. From the outback to the cities and weather hot or cold. Echoes in the air, connecting like a thread. With every transmission, it's like a family bred. Antenna high, catching waves with flair, making connections. Together we share, from LF to HF, we're making a stand. Vk3AMP, the voice across the land.
So here's to the hams in every single town. CQ, let's lift the world's crown. Together in the ether, flying high and free. Vk3AMP from down under, come and talk to me.
CQ, let the world hear my call. Vk3AMP, reaching out to them all. No matter the distance, we're breaking the ice. Ham life's unique, a thrill with every slice. Hey. We belong.
CQ.
Let's keep the world strong.
G'day, those who might be watching. So we jump on and do another stream today and see, been a couple of big signals on the band, and we thought we'd have a bit of a play. There's a few signals there, not many, but there's a couple. So last night wasn't that crash hot, but I thought I'd grab a coffee and sit down and see if I can make some contacts and have a play and see who might be around. Change the screen up a little bit on the 101. I don't know where the mouse is for that screen, but yeah, got a bit of a waterfall happening tonight, something different. Help you see the screen a little bit better. So we'll see what happens. All right. We've had a few days of rain, as you probably already know from the last couple of streams. Very warm here today. I think it's around the mid to low 30s, and it's still quite warm at the moment. Still a little bit overcast, and got a couple of signals there, so we'll see how we go. Put out a bit of a call and see if we can make some contacts.
Yeah, that part I just went on. I'm sorry, the BBC and no copy. QZDX, the long part, the DX, long part, the DX, long part only. Either Tango, 77 Lima, America. QDX, long part, the DX, long part. Tango, 77 Lima, America. DX, long part, DX, long part. Tango, 77 Lima, Alpha, long part, QZ, over.
VK2 Lima, Quebec, Vk3AMP. VK2 Lima, Quebec. G'day, Angelo. Got Paul this way, Papa Alpha Uniform Lima.
Hey, the Victor Kilo 2 Lima Queen, VK2 Lima Queen, correct?
Yeah, yep, that's correct. QSL.
Okay, Victor Kilo number 2, Lima Queen. How are you? Nice to hear you. You'll copy 59 just a moment back to you. No problem, Paul. How are you? Good evening back to you, sir. You'll copy the 59 just a moment back to you, Paul. Microphone back to you, Paul. Over.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Angelo. Heard you putting out a couple of calls there, mate. Just kicking off a live stream, another one tonight. So you're the first one on it, mate. Yeah, also peaking a 5 and 9.59, mate. Pretty strong considering the band's not all that great, but hopefully it's only a sign of things to come. We'll see how we go, mate. How's your day been? Started off well?
Yeah, I feel so. No problem. Moment back to you. They got the 59 today, no problem. And of course, married just a moment to the frequency, man, no problem. You copy 59 for you. 7-3, happy holiday. Good Sunday to your family. Good DX, Paul. VK2AMP Queen, D7-7 LA. 7-3, my friend. Good to hear everybody. Thanks.
Good on you. Thanks, Angelo. T7 Lima Alpha VK2 Lima Queen. 73 Spears and Chess.
7-3, thanks. Happy holidays. Thank you, sir. Was at the accident, lone part of DX.
Rover logged into Scrubs Hill and another one in South Australia normally, which is really useful to gauge. I can see my signal running at X6.
G'day. That was just a quick one with Angelo. Some people just like to take a quick contact, give a report and move on. We do that sometimes when conditions, like when there's a pile up, it's good to try and keep it moving. Here we go. Now we've got someone doing slow scan TV. That's the only trouble. It's great to have people using slow scan TV, but the regs still say you've got to check the frequency before you use it. But look, it is what it is, mate. So I hope you're all doing well. We'll have a play, see what this evening holds.
About a 5 and 54 at the moment, over.
Yeah, a bit of a difference. I just switched over to the cobweb. I'll just switch over. That's on the cobweb. Just bringing it back to the, we call it the DX Commander. It's a copy of the OB-7 OptiBeam. So a little bit of a difference. All right, we'll put out a few calls on 220. I seem to like using 220 on 40 metres. I use 7120. I don't know why, just seem to be attracted to that number. But anyway, we'll put out a couple of calls and see if we can get a couple more in the log. It's the frequency in use. It's the frequency in use. VK2 Lima, Quebec. It's the frequency in use. It's the frequency in use. VK2LQ. It'd just be interesting as well. I worked out a feature on OBS. I hope I got it working. You should be seeing hopefully a full screen now when you're watching the stream. Hopefully I've expanded that to show up fully on the screen, not a picture frame. So it'd be interesting to see how that's working. And I guess I'll get to have a look at that when I play the stream back a bit later. But hopefully we've increased that size, let you see a bit more of what's happening, and change things around. As I said, I've changed the scope on the 101MP to a waterfall, so you can get to see a little bit more of that as well. CQ on 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ 20. VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec. VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres. VK2 Lima Queen calling CQ. CQ on 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20, VK2 Lima, Queen, calling CQ. The Charlie Tango 1, I can hear a few stations in there, not sure if they're if you're coming back to us or not, but we'll try. The Charlie Tango 1 again. Charlie Tango 1, just give me the suffix. The Charlie Tango 1, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, CQ 20, VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, VK2 Lima, Queen, calling CQ. I think it's Charlie Tango 1, Alpha Zulu November, QSL. The Charlie Tango 1, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20. VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20. VK2 Lima, Queen, calling CQ. CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20. VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ 20. VK2 Lima, Queen, calling CQ. CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, VK2LQ, Victor Kilo 2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ, CQ on 20, CQ 20, CQ 20 metres, CQ on 20, VK2 Lima, Queen, calling CQ. Yeah, I can hear a few stations in there, but you're just very, very low. You're just very, very low to try and pull out.
Oh, call the station Vk3AMP Yellow, maybe.
November Bravo 59. 73 km. Eco Alfa 3 Alfa Brasilia 59.
Congratulations back to you. Anybody. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
It's lovely built antenna, you know, they're ever so good. Years and years ago, we had a test antenna. It did 10, 15, 20, but it had like linear loading up the boom back down, and it was actually resonant on 40 meters as well. It was very good, and it wasn't enormous either, you know. It was quite a clever design, Rob Over.
Lima long part, either Tango 7-7 Lima.
You won't believe this, but I actually took time this time, and there I am time.
Yeah, there's another contest running. That's why I didn't get on last night, because there was a contest running in Europe, and it seems to be still running. There are a lot of the stations you can hear in the background. You may not be able to hear them in the background, but they're all the ones in the background. Just calling, logging contacts for their contest. That's Slow Scan TV. That's Angelo. We just spoke to Angelo. I was supposed to send John an email last night. I just remembered. I forgot all about it. So I thought I'd better take care of that there. Yeah, good on you. Thanks, John. I just forgot to switch the mic off again and probably blew a couple of people's ears off, but sorry about that. Anyway, good, mate. I'll give you a report on your next over. Sorry, I think you're up around 5.7, 5.8, mate, back.
Yeah, I'll take that all day. I'll tell you what, it's just nice to see the band, you know, after that solar event. I mean, 6 meters was a great laugh. I had a load of fun on there with the aurora. It's the strongest auroral signals I've ever heard. I was talking to guys up in Finland and in Norway and Sweden also. There was no auroral flutter, nothing. It was like working sporadic key. I have never known it like it, and into Germany as well, in Austria. There was no auroral flutter whatsoever. The guys in the UK were, the guys up in Scotland and down in the UK, but there was nothing.
anything over that way was wonderful. It was an absolute pleasure to be working it, and it was on 10 as well. We got the same opening on 10, so I've got one radio on 6 and one radio on 10, and flicking between the two, and it was very interesting to see how the band was shifting. It was like waves coming in on 10, and then it would shift up onto 6, and then 6 would drop down and 10 would come back in again. It was well, I'll tell you, in my short radio career of about, 30 years, I've never seen it like that, mate.
Yeah, QSL, mate, QSL. Yeah, I've been looking. I haven't seen much activity here in VK land. I haven't heard many VKs saying there has been much activity. So that's very good. I do keep an eye out, especially after the auroras, because I'm quite familiar with 6 metres opening up. But I guess being so isolated here, mate, I guess it's probably very few and far between. But I know those VKs that have managed to get on 6 metres and work the voice band or the phone portion of it have been very ecstatic, mate. I just haven't had that privilege yet. I did jump on 6 metres once after making a little rotatable dipole, about 45 degrees, and with some aluminium tubes and 3D printed support. But as I got on it and tuned up, it disappeared that quick, mate, as you know, as it does. So I'm still here holding, crossing both fingers and all my toes to try and work something on 6 metres, mate. But you never know. The days are only young. The nights are long, mate, and there's going to be a lot more auroras one day. I might be in the right place at the right time. M0RDX, 2 Lima Queen, returning.
Yeah, that's the thing with 6 metres. You've got to be on it all the time. I got the other radio on now, just pointing to the southeast, watching, just seeing if the band's going to, it's on all the time. I think the band scope's now a great boon to this hobby. You can just leave the rig on and turn the volume down and just watch the scope. It's great. But I'm trying to think, I think it was 2003 maybe. Let me think. 2004, maybe 2005. It's a long time ago. I've only ever worked VK once on 6 metres on SSB. And it was over on the east coast of Australia, but at the time we were getting regular openings into Indonesia, all over to the Far East, Middle East. It was wonderful, it was so much. I mean, I was very, very lucky for that sort of couple of years, into the Indian Ocean, as I say, VK. Macau, Hong Kong, it was just superb. And I'm sitting here all the time and I've heard nothing. And there was no big F2 openings last year, there was nothing really. So, to be fair, there was some into the very, very small opening into South America. I don't know how many more guys out of the UK worked the chaps down in Venezuela. That was, for me, that opening lasted about 10 minutes, and then it sort of moved north into North America for a very, very small opening that day. But of course, the guys on FT8 came in all the time. The stuff I'm working is all done on phone. So the guys who are running FT8 are sort of mopping it, shall we say, over.
Yeah, QSL, mate, QSL. That's what I found. Look, to each their own. That's the unfortunate thing that I've seen more and more is people are getting on FT8 when the bands are down, but when the bands are picking up, they're not coming back over to the phone portion. They like to stay on the FT8 band, which is a bit of a shame. Look, to each their own. But would be nice, it used to be used as a low propagation source, but, there's some stations out there doing a kilowatt on FT8, and, I think that sort of defeats the purpose. But, look, we're all into the hobby for our own self-interest, if you like, And if that's what people do, that's what they do. But I mean, I got on, played FT8 a bit, and once the signal started to get up about -2 up to 0 dB and in the plus areas, I'd certainly shop down to the phone portion of the band and make some voice contacts. But, you know, a lot of people sit there playing FT8 day in and day out, and that's nice. That's probably great for them. They're used to doing that. But it's always good to get on and have a bit of a chat, mate. M0RDX from Vk3AMP.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, tune up to the guys, you know, on FTdx 313, and some of them, you know, you see these signals coming in, and the 5.9 and 5.9 plus, and you think, if these signals are around on the band that loud, why are you not on SFP? You know, it's beyond me. There used to be an advert on the TV in the UK, and it used to say, it's good to talk. Well, clearly, it's becoming a lost art with radio, but anyway, like you say, each to his own, isn't it? At least they're on and enjoying it, and that's what the hobby's all about. Find your little niche and enjoy it, but, you know, just swapping signal reports via computer is not really my idea of having a QSO, so there we go. Right, Paul, I'll say 7 to 8, there's a few other guys calling, I'll see if I can work a few more while we've still got some conditions down to sunny VK. Hope you have a great weekend. Vk3AMP, 0 audio. Thank you ever so much for coming back to the call, mate.
Yeah, good on you, John. Always a pleasure, mate. And you take care. Until next time, 73s, beers and cheers. M0RDX from VK2 Lima, Quebec. Until next time, cheers, John.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's always good to have a quick chat with John. It's always good to have a chat with anyone over in the UK. It's a bit of distance, a bit of fun, see how conditions are. But there's a new thing kicking off soon. I believe there's a lot of testing going on using digital for HF via a PC, but it'll clean that signal up and then regenerate it out over the air. So it's still going to be a HF contact. But I've been watching some videos and watching some guys testing it. A few stations are downloading and using it now. And geez, what a difference. It certainly cleans up all that white noise and really boosts the audio. So that could be a thing as conditions and the start to take a dive. We're starting to, the solar cycle starting to take a dive down now to where, we'll probably struggle to get band conditions. And we've already seen a big decline in signals and that over the last 6 or 8 months. But that's going to go down a bit more as we head towards 2030 before it'll probably plateau for about 12 or 18 months. And then hopefully we'll see an uptake on the cycles again. So digital will be nice. It'll help bring out the audio and allow you'd probably to still make contacts similar to FT8 where low propagation, the digital mode on HF, and it'll be purely just getting filtered by a PC and compressing the audio into a digital format and then sending it over the radio waves. It'll be received through an antenna and then deciphered by a PC or the software on the PC. So that'll be interesting. It'll be good to see how that is.
7 Lima, America.
Hopefully that stream now looks a bit better, not having that picture frame that you're looking. I'm hoping I've expanded that now to cover the full size of whatever monitor you're using. Still learning this stuff. I think I worked that out yesterday, and I've changed the the screen on the 101 MP to give you a waterfall. Hopefully that's a bit more presentable. We can change that around a bit just by clicking a couple of buttons. We can extend or shrink the waterfall. So hopefully that gives you a bit more visual of seeing contacts. There's a big signal. Angelo, so conditions are picking up depending on what part of the world you're in. That's a pretty big signal there. So I think he was peaking about a 5.9, so he's still hanging in there nice and strong.
Maybe I'd prefer it that they more than use biggie modes and don't come on fast, to be honest. Wayne, back to you. Vk3AMP G2YT. Yeah, G2YT. Yeah, Vk3AMP. Well,
another UK. I think that's Jim off the top of my head. Talking to another VK. But I still haven't mounted that Footswitch yet. I'll make sure I turn this mic off. VK2 Lima, Quebec, VK2LQ.
Okay, 2 Lima, Quebec again.
Victor Kilo 2 London Queen, VK2LQ.
Okay, Paul, thank you for calling me. VK2 Lima Queen, thank you for calling me. I copy you 5 in North Italy. My name is Eddie. My PTA is around 25 meters normal. Back to you, Paul. VK2 Lima Queen, LSR.
Yeah, India Zulu 2 LSR VK2LQ returning. Good on you, Eddie. I got you 55, mate. 5 and 6. 5 and 6 on the peaks, mate. Conditions ain't that great, but very nice to hear you in there, mate. We last spoke on November 16th of last year. So it's very good to hear you out there, mate. I hope things are doing well. And I hope you've started off a great 2026 for you and your family. IZ2 LSR 2 Lima Queen returning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for bringing my call. Your report is also 5.5. The propagation is very poor. I just bring my antenna with you. It has a 4-element CPR. The local time in Italy is at this moment 10:21 in the morning, and 1 degree, little bit rainy, little bit of snow. Okay, my PTH is a 25 million normal on Lake Sugar. Next to you, Paul, VK2 Lima Queen, AV2 LSR.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, located here, mate, in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, about 60 kilometres west of Sydney on the east coast of Australia, a suburb called Emu Plains, doing 400 watts into what we're calling a DX Commander. It's a 7+3 copy of the OTIBEAM with 2 full-size elements on 20 metres, mate. All the best there, Ed. I'll let you work a few more. Conditions, as you said, conditions ain't all that great. But while they're still there, mate, you're better off working a few, and we'll see if we can find a few more as well. 73s, beers and cheers until next time. Italy Zulu 2 Lima Sierra Radio from VK2 Lima, Quebec.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Thank you for a my call. Today the propagation is very, very poor. In any case, you're fine. 73, and my best regards. Ciao, Paul. Please put me in the class if possible. Put me in the class.
73 Paul, VK2 Lima Lima, Italy Zulu 2 Lima, Santiago Radio. 73.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Thanks very much. I've got you in QRZ, so hopefully you'll acknowledge that contact, mate. 73's beers and cheers for now.
Thank you, 73. QRZ, VK.
Yeah, thanks. I think I got it right. I think it's Edwin or Ed, if that's okay. Just correct me if I'm wrong, mate, or I can look it up again. But yeah, I finally worked that out yesterday. I've been struggling for a week how to do that, and I actually stumbled across a video on YouTube on how to make that happen. So hopefully, yeah, thanks. Hopefully it does look better. And as I said, I changed the screen on the 101 to give a waterfall. So hopefully that looks a little bit better as well. Thanks, mate. Tell you what, there's a couple of stations out there in November, how good or how bad the conditions are. Geez, they really thump out a signal. So everyone else is, pretty down. But Angelo's up around 5.7, peaking 5.9s at times. Usually he's 20 over. But that makes all the difference, the power and the antenna height. Makes a big difference. I tell you, it's extremely humid. It's looks like Japan or Korea or something at the moment. See if they give us a call sign. Very, very humid. I've got to get a little aircon in here, but seems to be as the sun's going down, the more humid it's getting. We have had a couple of days of rain, probably a week of rain. Week and a half with about 2 days rest in between.
Thanks for watching. If you could click on that subscribe, the like button and notification bell, it really helps us to get our content out there.
Had a bit of fun today, bit of drama trying to connect up my HRI 200 for those who do Wires X or Fusion, whatever you like to call it, C4 FM, or and after a bit of a battle, we finally got it worked out. We had to get our IP changed over a static IP, and then we still couldn't get the ports open. Then we found out that Windows Defender, for some reason, it set itself to lock all ports. So we finally got that, and we might do some C4 FM stuff and maybe some DMR as well on YouTube. Might do some streaming on that for anyone that uses DMR or C4 FM. do P25 as well. Got a P25 HT over there and a car. Anyone do P25? Might have a play on P25 one night. See who may be on some of the repeaters or reflectors on P25 as well. Just to break it up, if it's a bit quiet here, yeah, you can see, look, the band's, except for Angelo, still cranking it. What sort of do you guys do HF? You're more into 2 meters. Are you all hams? Just be interesting to know. Are you looking to get your ticket, or do you do shortwave listening? So we got a few setups here. As I said, we got a node over there for Fusion or C4FM or YSX on Yaesu. Got a couple of HTs that do it, 991A and P25 and DMR as well. Haven't tried All Star yet. I've tried to listen to it on local reflectors here, but every time I get on, I don't hear anything. So I guess that's one of the downsides of being a small, isolated country. I guess with a small ham population, that even the 2 metre and 70 centimetre repeaters not as busy as what they used to. I think if they went back and linked them all again, which I believe was done way before I come into the hobby. The bands were quite busy, and I think that would bring up the 2 metre stuff again. I was watching something on YouTube the other day by one of the popular YouTubers there in ham radio had some questions about the bands being so quiet, especially on 2 metres and 70 centimetres. But yeah, they have been, but I'm sure a lot of people listen instead of putting out a call. And that's the same on HF. If we don't get out and put calls and try and keep our bands alive, then our respective governments will probably enjoy getting the money for them and selling them off to the private sector, like I believe is happening now with a new company. I think in the US, don't quote me on that, doing a similar thing to Elon Musk. They're launching low orbit satellites for internet, and they're trying to take over parts of the 70 centimetre band. And if they're not used, they'll probably end up getting those. So if you're into 70 centimetres, I guess especially in the US, might be time to start jumping on and start using those. But we just seem to be hearing the same stations now. I don't think the band's going to improve. It's 8:31 in the evening here. The band's dropping off. It wasn't. It was a little bit busy earlier on. I probably should have jumped on about 6:30 or 7 o'clock. But I thought it might have been like 2 nights ago where it sort of picked up a bit from 8 o'clock, but it hasn't. There's someone. Even with a big signal like that, Angelo's looks like he's struggling to getting someone to come back to him out of VK or ZL. And ZL's New Zealand. So that's amazing. He's starting to drop down a bit now. He was peaking a 5 and 9. Oh, he's just come back up to a 5 and 8 there, but it's been a bit. How you going?
Lima, Vk3AMP Tango 77 Lima America, long part QZ, over.
No antenna. That you haven't got one up yet. And what's the name? VK1NME. We may have spoken before. I could probably just bring it up here. No, not on QRZ. Did I get the call right? VK1 November Mike Echo. Yep. Have to give me your name. I'm Paul anyway. If you've just come in and you're not aware of that. But, good on you, Shane. I see you on QRZ. You might have to maybe pop your name in there, mate. So what, you're just new to the hobby, Shane, or you just haven't got around to putting an aerial up, or one's come down? What's the story, mate? So yeah, there's a little bit of a delay, unfortunately, but we'll see. I'll see if Shane replies. Be interesting to see what sort of radio, Shane, do you have, mate, and what sort of antenna you're looking at putting up. I might just switch over to the cobweb and just see if there's any difference. So that's we're on the cobweb now. It's obviously a little bit quieter, but oh, okay, mate. No worries. Oh well, what is it due to noise or just where you live and you can't get an antenna up? The cobweb certainly quietens it down a bit, but it's been a very good antenna I've been using for about the last 18 months or so. Yeah, signals are starting to really drop now. Hey, Toddy. Good to see you in there, mate. Band's very quiet tonight, mate. But we're here. We'll still... yeah, okay. Maybe... I'll tell you a good vertical, Shane, is a Diamond CP6S. I'm not sure if you're in a house or not, but you can mount that just above the roof. You don't need no ground radials. It do has radials coming off the bottom, but you don't need, they screw into the base. And a Diamond CP6S, they do 80, 40, let me think, 20, 15, 10 and 6 metres. So I'm not sure what your licence class is, but at least, well, if you're a foundation, mate, it'll give you all your foundation in the HF spectrum. And if you're a standard or advanced, you've got virtually all of them, except for the WARC bands, mate. And very limited. They're just a straight vertical. And I think the radials on the bottom come out about 1.8 metres. So very good. I had one when I got my foundation about 4 years ago. And I sort of regret selling it. But one thing I did do, I sold it for virtually what I paid for it 12 months later. And I shipped that over to WA, about, what's that, 6,000 or 7,000 kilometres away. So, oh, that's no good. Yeah, I feel you. I've spoke to a couple of stations in the US that have HOAs, and yeah, they're not happy. A lot of complaining about antennas. I suppose that's the good thing about... I mean, we still have it. A few of us still have it here. I haven't had it yet. My neighbours have been pretty good, but I know some people have put up a Yagi in their backyard and their neighbours have been complaining. But, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, good, mate. Good. Oh, well, good. We all got to start somewhere. I done my foundation, and believe me, I bought a little Chinese. Was it a Pac 12? I've done a couple of videos on those, and went down the park, and done some work just in the park, and I think it was 5 watts or 10 watts into LA about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on 40 metres. So don't be discouraged. 10 watts will get you out, mate. Right time, right conditions. You know, the best thing to use, mate, is a dipole. Just string some wire just above the fence, very thin wire, and just cut it. Even if you just get on, I don't know if you just want to use 40 metres, it's about 20 metres in length. Let me see, probably 10.1 metres long each side. Or you can have a look on the internet how to linear load those, and you can fold them back on themselves, so it's about 5 metres either side. If you get those in about close to under 1.5 to 1 on the SWR, mate, you'll be surprised how good that works as well. I used to run a dipole just above the roof. I know people that run them down the fence line. Some people use a ground loop, mate. They just dig it in the lawn so it can't be seen at all. And they say that works quite well as well. Flagpole's fantastic, mate, yeah. That's a good thing, Ed. You can put up a flagpole and just run a wire up. I've seen them run wires up the centre of them and disguise an antenna in there. Just run a wire up the middle as a vertical and some ground radials in the ground. Just stick them into the grass. And, you know, you could stick an Australian flag on it, mate, and have the best of both worlds. There's some videos on that on YouTube as well. So there's quite a few options out there. Even just buying yourself a little, what do they call them, a shark stick, I think, or something similar. Just a little whip that's compromised, but that'll do. You can do that on 40 just with a car mount. Stick it on a little stand in the backyard. You're on the top floor? On the top floor, mate, drop a length of wire down the length of the outside wall. Tune it up while you're playing radio, and then you can just pull it in. There's some little antennas with a tuner that you can sit on the balcony and tune those, and make some probably local contacts. You might make some national ones as well, and that's just sitting on the. I was going to go out to the parks today and do a video. I might go out tomorrow, and I'll do a video. I'll take a couple of little antennas I use, which you could quite easily sit on a balcony or a veranda, and you could have a bit of a play. So I haven't been out to parks for a while. I've got a few PODA activations that I've done, a couple of videos, a couple of little setups on different antennas I've used. The Buddy Pole and the Chinese JPC7 and the Pac 12, I think it is. And simply just putting 2 coils on the bottom, I was able to get it to tune on 80 with about a 5 metre telescopic whip mounted on that. So you could sit in the park, or sit in the back lawn, or even on your balcony. Just have a little bracket, angle it out on an angle out of your balcony, and make some contacts, and then you just got to pull it in when you're finished. Yeah, I've even heard of guys using kites, Ed. Kites with a long wire, and playing radio with a kite up in the air, and just had it tied off, and were able to make contacts just on a long wire using the kite as the upright. How good's that? and you can pull that up pretty high, I guess, depending on how strong your kite is and how much string you got. Yeah, Ace 817, nice radio. Yeah, look, we're all guilty of that, mate. We're all got to get off that padded tush and get out and do something. Like I said, I was very, very active in doing parks on the air. Very active. I was out nearly every weekend. But then we had a spate about 18 months or so with nearly rain continuous every day. And I haven't got back out there. But I was hoping to do that today. But as I was saying just a half hour ago, that putting the trying to get me Wise X back up and going consumed most of the afternoon, but I eventually worked out what was doing it. So I had Windows Defender. For some reason it automatically decided to block any unwanted inward bound ports and a couple of the outward bound ports. Even though I freed them up on the modem, Windows wasn't allowing access to them, so I got those sorted. So tomorrow I'll probably get out and do a park, and I'll take a couple of the antennas. I've even got a tripod here that's was used for a laser level. You know, the laser level surveyors use. I've got one of those tripods. I've got an aluminium bar that's mounted on that, and two different mounting bases for two different antennas. And I've got some coiled up counterpoises, and I also have a stake that's earth that I drive into the ground directly underneath. I spread that out, and then I can put a couple of different antennas on it. And only takes a couple of minutes to set up the tripod once I take it out, because I've already got the bases there, the loading coils and that already mounted. And I just spread that out. I just step on the little foot plate on each leg and push that in the ground, put a grounding stake, lay out the counterpoise, and then screw whatever antenna I want. I've got military folding aluminium whip, and I've got some loaded whips with adjustable tops, and from some 2.5 and some 5.6 stainless steel telescopic whips that I use as well. So I like to do a few different things. Absolutely. It's probably a bit hard for me to pull it out at the moment. It's in the back cupboard there. And I also have a fishing rod carry case, you know, the round barrels. They're probably about 1.8 metres long, 2 metres long. I have a lot of me whips and that in that. So when I go somewhere, I can just sling that over me back like a backpack, I guess. But it's just a tube designed for fishing rods, and I put all me whips in that, so they're pretty safe. And I'm sure you probably most of you would have seen the Pac-12 antennas. I could probably show you one of those now. Just give me a second. I don't know how well I'll be able to show you these, but this is a JPC7, but it's the same for both. And this is the kit here. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can tell me. These are the 2.5 metre telescopic whips, and these are the tubes that screw together. This is the loading coil here that you adjust. Oh, you probably can't even see them, can you? Let me bring that up there like that. There we go. That might be a bit better. So these are the telescopic whips here. You can tell I'm only new at doing this. So this just pulls out. This goes to about 2.5 metres, and the other one I have goes out to about 5.6 metres. So it's double the size of this, and it's in another carry box. I think it's in that fishing one that I use. These are the bases. The base on this with the ballon on it for the coax is already mounted on the tripod. So I just screw this on. There's a threaded M10 base here. I just screw that on, and then I attach all these and then put the whip on. And then there's a slide adjuster here with a, I use a Rig Expert AA1400, and you can adjust the SWR just by sliding this up and down. It's got a little contact here, spring contact, and you can slide that up and down and adjust the SWR. But everything here there, I've got coax. I could also mount this as a dipole, adjustable dipole, and rotate that by hand. It's in the other pack. It has 2 coils, one each side, for depending what band I want to do. So I adjust each. If I'm doing 40, I just adjust both of those to get the SWR in at 40. JPC 1, yeah, I'm not sure which one the 1 is. That might be a new one. But the JPC 7 is I think that's the vertical for memory. It's a single vertical. And then you got the Pack 12, or I might have them around the wrong way. The Pack 12, which is the dipole. And then you can buy, they now do quite a few add-ons. You can do a V type dipole now. Just buying the add-on. You only have to buy the screw-on add-on that the elements go into. And there's also an 80-metre coil they do now. It does, I think it does, it'll do from 10 right up to 80 metres. Instead of taking 2 of those coils. So what I done back in the day when these first become these are very popular now, is I took 2 of these coils and M10 thread, and I screwed 2 of these together, and then you just disengage one of them, and then you use the top one to adjust to get the correct impedance, so you can get it working on 80 metres on it's a compromised antenna, obviously due to the length, but by God, it worked well. And if you're out camping somewhere, and if the bands are pretty quiet at night and 80's working, well, you've got yourself a nice antenna. Yeah, I've got a Nano VA as well. I've got that around here somewhere. I've got the Rig Expert. So I've got a mixture of both. I am looking at buying the, I think it's a Daiwa. Is it the CN300, I think? It's a digital and analog meter in one. Very nice little meter. Very good to play with. But there's a whole heap of variety of antennas out there. I mean, all you have to do is get a little car mount, put an M10 on it, buy an M10 whip. And the great thing with the whips, if you go for the 5.6 metre ones, you can do 20 metres, 10 metres, 15, all on that whip. You don't need anything else. You just adjust the length, pull it up and down until you get the matching SWR, just by extending or retracting the stainless steel whip. So it certainly makes a big difference. And you know, when you run counterpoises, you can put equal lengths, you know, around 3 to 5 metres, 10 metres if you like. But you know, if you're just doing it here and there, probably 3 to 5 metres is plenty. And if you do them in a circle, roughly evenly spaced, you'll never get them evenly spaced. You'll get a radiated pattern of 360 degrees. But if you want to push your signal one direction, well, if you want to go to the east, well, you'd put 3 or 4 counterpoises at the north, on the back side, and that'll help push the signal forward, like using the Yagi antenna. So that's one way using the vertical, how you can actually turn it into a directional vertical, if you like, just by putting the counterpoises at the back if you want to go east. And if you want to go north, well, then put counterpoises on the south side of that, and that'll help push the signal forward, mainly in that direction. And you can quite easily test it. If you're out in the park, set it up, just do it that way, and just see how strong, and just at the end of the day, change it around, and or do a 360 and then just do one at the back, say 40 degrees at the back, just put counterpoise, and you'll have a look and see where you've made the most contacts. And usually when you direct it, you'll get them more from one direction, say from the east, if that's where you're facing, compared to if you have counterpoises evenly spaced all around, you'll get contacts from all directions. So that's a little experiment that I've done, and I've seen other people do that as well. So it's sort of I wasn't imagining it when I done it. So, but when I first got into the hobby as a foundation, I was building antennas. Still build antennas now. I've got a couple on the go. I've been doing some 3D printing. I don't know if I've got one here to show you. Here. This is some 3D printing I've been doing. This will be for a delta loop. So the elements screw in here. This is PET-G. This is about an 80% impulse, so a bit of weight to it. I've already done some for a Yagi antenna, and I think they were 15mm tubes, and I've got one set up. I've had it sitting out in the weather now for nearly 12 months. 3 elements for 10. And this here, as some of you probably see, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying. Ham Radio Australia, and yeah, this is this fits onto a 40-metre boom, a round boom, and you can put this is for a pass-through, so this will set. This is your driven element, so your fitting and your connector mounts on here, and then you bring your centre and braid out, and you mount them here. Holes are already done. I've already done the holes. Let me try and work this out so you can see them. So there's already holes here, one down here, so you can put the centre conductor, or you could even mount the centre conductor in the back here. And that's the driven element that I've done, so that'll pass through. And then I've got some that have one side cut off, well, not printed with them, and solid, so you can fit them on the ends and make a 3-element delta loop, or whatever you like with it. A single element rotatable dipole. I've got one similar to this, a lot smaller, for 6 metres up on the roof. That's been up for 12 months, 3D printed base similar to this as well. And I've got some 10 or 12mm aluminium tube feeding in the end, and it's cut for 6 metres. So I've been playing around with that as well. I think there's some videos on the channel about printing and doing a couple of those. Let me just catch up on some of the comments here. I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, doublets are good. I've never tried a doublet. I heard they're quite good, but I hear mixes, like, you got to make sure you're pretty isolated from any metal surroundings to help keep the SWR down. So that would be interesting. But I've heard some great reports on doublets. Linear loaded dipoles as well are fantastic if you compromise for space. And another great antenna, I've got to say, is the cobweb if you compromise for space. The one I have set up, I've got two. One I just pulled down. It was 2 metres by 2 metres square, and that had 4 bands on it, 20, 15, 10 and 6. And the one I have up at the moment has 40 on it. That's 4 metres square from the centre out. I think it's about 3.5 metres, but I'll say 4 metres square from the centre where the mounts on the pole, and that's got 40 metres on it. So I got 40, 30, 20. Took 15 and 10 off because I have those on the antenna. I use the Yagi that I'm using now. But yeah, I suppose it's not really, I guess. It's about 10 mil thick here. obviously I've had to put a bit of thickness here because if you're going to run, you know, 5 or 6 metre elements on these, you want this to be able to support it and make sure they don't snap. So far so good. As I said, with the ones I've printed for the Yagi, they got it's a 3 element. It's got three elements on that. And what's that? What's 10? Around 3 metres or something, 3.5 metres each side. There. So I do have 2 elements for 20 that I made that I was using to test once before. I've still got those, so I'm thinking I might look at trying to put the 20 metre elements into this and then just putting it up and having a play with that. I've got a couple other designs as well for square tube, for a square box, 40mm square. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is maybe, I was going to look at building some antennas and selling them using those, or selling the bases for people. Yeah, link dipole's good for good as well. If a fan dipole, if you're a bit compromised, a link dipole, as you change the bands, you just drop the ends and unclip it and have it pre-tuned up for each band. Because fan dipoles, you know, a bit like the cobweb, depending on what their surroundings are, can you know, play a bit of havoc. But if you've got a tuner, obviously that's going to help you out. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on some of the comments here. Probably getting away talking. The 3D printing, you know, it's great. Look at all the stuff people have made. I do have a, I probably don't have it in the room. Oh look, I could give you an idea. This is my Yaesu 6100 that I had to play with some side rails for. Put a mic hanger on it, so that's fixed, so I can hang my mic on it. Speaking of mic hangers, here's another one I've done. This is a desk stand for my Yaesu 6100. Also has a stand there, and this is for the phone. Let me get this right. The phone handpiece. So it's got the speaker and that in it that clips into the Yaesu, and they just clip into the radio. And I can sit that on a park bench. Sit that on a park bench with the radio in it. And it looks pretty good. It's not designed to have the side rails. I probably could have. I might print another one and make it a bit stronger, but it's just right on the cusp with the side rails. So that's how it looks. It's just wide enough to suit the side rails. I probably should have went another maybe 5 or 10 mil longer. I could redo that. I experiment with Tinkercad, and so I've got that there, and that sits it there on the desk, and the hand mic or that phone mic, phone handpiece, they just clip on here and sits up the side. So I 3D print a lot of insulators for yeah, DX Commander Vertical is a good idea too, Paul. You know, Cal does some fantastic antennas. But I'm late to go to... you got to go. All right, Paul. Sorry, mate, I just seen that. Sorry, I'm late to go to the party. Oh, late to the party. That's all right, mate. Doesn't matter if you're late. We'll just charge you a cart next time. And I'll give you the address to drop it off. But DX Command is a very good antenna. I think Hayden, I know Hayden down in Tassie uses one. Swears by it. A few people swear by it. Oh, CNC machine, mate. Geez, I could have some fun if I had one of those. That'd be nice. You could just about cut and make everything you need. Especially one of those plasma cutters. How good are they getting? But to get a decent one, they're quite costly. Yeah. Look, a CNC machine, it'd be fantastic. You could get some nice cuts, making some really, really nice brackets. And that's where I found, you know, doing the 3D ones, they look pretty good. And so far so good based on the one I've got up on the roof that's in use. As I said, that's been up for 6 months. It looks as good as the day I put it up there. On your CNC machine. So what's the biggest or is that to cut metal or aluminium, or is that mainly for wood and stuff? Yeah, okay. So are you saying that it's burning the 3D prints, or for when you're machining the 3D prints? Is that what you're alluding to? I mean, if you're gonna shape 3D printing with a CNC machine, you want to be cutting pretty quick, yeah, because otherwise, yeah, you just be melting and burning the plastics. Oh, you've got a DX Commander, have you? I didn't know that. I'll take it to the... Yeah, okay. Oh, good on you, Paul. I didn't know that. How do you find it, mate? Which one did you get? Does it cover 80 as well in the L shape, or do you just do 40 down? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, if you're going to do things for antennas, depending on what you're making, you probably need them about 5 to 10 mil thick. So yeah, that starts biting in the hip pocket. But my 3D printer bed, I think it's 310 or 315 by 315. But you're probably looking at about 300 by 300 on the print area. And it's a bed slinger, so probably not the best choice of printers. But look, it was my first one that I got over 12 months ago to have a play with. Now I'm looking at getting one, or it's an XY, where the print head just moves up and down, backwards and forwards. The bed doesn't shake because I have lost a couple of 20 or 30 hours into a print, and I think the velocity of sometimes of the bed shaking and dropping a little bit of temperature, it makes the model come off the base or warps it a bit, where I think people are having a lot better outcomes with the X and Y, and the bed doesn't sling backwards and forwards. Yeah, yeah, good. What size counterpoise do you run on those, Paul? What's the longest one you run? Do you use a dozen, half a dozen, 3 meters, 5 meters in length, or do you just use one long one? How do you work your counterpoise out? G'day, M7. Let me think. M7. We tried to make a contact. Let me test my memory. Absolutely no good. I don't think it was John. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to have a look. We did get a bit of the UK in a bit earlier. What have we got? M7. KJY. Oops, I better click the right box, eh? M7KJY. Anthony, was that right? Did I get it right? Oh, I think I accidentally logged you as a contact, mate. We'll have to fix that up. But very good, what would it be? Morning to you over there, evening over here, that's correct. Good to see you back on the stream, mate. I hope your morning has been nice. I hope you have a great day. I hope everyone has a great day, actually. For me, life, the older you get, the quicker those Christmases come, I got to tell you. And it only feels like yesterday my daughter was born, but she's almost turning 13, so I'm starting to get into the scary parts of life. Yeah, interesting. I did make a DX commander, Paul. I called it the Poor Man's Commander. I went to the local Kmart, picked up five cutting boards for about $5, and used a jigsaw and cut them all out, and then drilled the holes and made one and stuck it up. Because I've got a telescopic pole here, I think it's 9 meters, and I managed to get 40, 15 and 20 on it, and had a bit of a play with that just for something to do. I probably need to get back and finish it off. No, mate, you don't need more power, not at all. You know what, Anthony, your antenna's the key, mate. If you get an antenna that can do around 6 dB, a little bit more, 6 dB, you're looking close to 100 watts, mate. So believe me, I've spoke to the UK on 5 watts and 10 watts, and got 5 and 5, 5 and 9 reports. And to me, that's always a challenge. You know, I love getting on the lower power and trying to make contacts. Just lately, I've been using 400 watts because I bought a new amp and I had it sitting in the cupboard for 3 months until I redone the shack, and then I pulled it out. So I've been spoiling myself playing with that a bit. But yeah, believe me, power's not everything. Yep, 6 dB. So your first 10 watts is 10 watts, then you add 3 dB on that, then that's 20, then you add 6 dB, then you're getting 40, around 40 watts out of that, roughly. So the more dB you got, the more that power increases. So if you're running 10 dB, you're around 100 watts. And if you have a look, I believe, if you do some research on the internet, I believe there's 2 chaps somewhere in Europe that hold world records for contacting every country on about 300 milliwatts. And they've made DX contacts all around the world, and I believe they hold records or equal records or close to it. If you have a look, I'm sure they'll pop up somewhere. There might be in one of the ham forums or something like that. But yeah, I heard a few hams talking about that about 12 months ago. So power's not necessarily everything. It helps, but the other thing that helps, you know, as I said, I've used a little Chinese vertical. What was that? About 5 meters in the air using 5 or 10 watts as a foundation holder. Made it into the US. I've made it into the UK. I mean, conditions are a big part, and also I've got to say that the other person on the other end that's using their 3-element Yagi or a stepper or a hex beam are probably doing all the heavy lifting, but at the end of the day, you're putting the signal out there for someone to receive it. So 10 watts is you can work the world on that, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So true, Paul. And look, guys, if you look at my channel and go back to probably the start, there is a video there out of the back of my canopy on my work truck where I made a contact into LA. I think it was 5 or 10 watts using a vertical antenna just in the local park down the road. Yeah, I looked at a Hustler. Just excuse me for one moment. I looked at the Hustler, Paul, but you got to put counterpoise down with that. So to me, I felt a little bit restricted. So oh, sorry, it wasn't Paul. It was Anthony. Want to look at the Diamond CP6S, Anthony? They don't not require any ground counterpoise at all. That's freestanding. You can put that up on your roof, and it has 6 elements that come out the bottom. About 1.8 meters might be the longest one, and they just screw in, and you just use your Nano VNA or Rig Expert and adjust each band just by adjusting those elements in and out by a couple of millimetres to get the SWR right. And you don't have to worry about counterpoise. It's mate, I had one of those, and fantastic. I ended up selling it to get a bigger antenna, and I regret it. I've been contemplating maybe getting another one of those and putting it up to have a vertical, because the vertical's fantastic because of the lower takeoff angle. You got more chance of hitting that DX as well, because you can hit the ionosphere at the right angle and come back down. So vertical's very good. The only downside to a vertical's probably best for DX. The only downside to running a vertical is it'll pick up all that local noise. So the higher you can get it up, the better off you'll be in trying to restrict some of that noise. I wasn't too bad here. I had it. I probably had it 2 meters above me roof, and the noise wasn't too bad. And just across the road, less than 300 meters away, I've got those. I think there's 66 kVA on 50 meter towers running right across the foot of the mountain. So I certainly know when one of those ceramic insulators play up in the weather. It does certainly let the radio know. But just looking at the band now, and it's just dead. I just wonder what might be on 40. Let's have a look, see if there's much happening on 40. So there's the US there. Well, that's Chris, I think. He's ours, but he'll be talking. There's a couple of US stations that can hear on 40. There's a couple of big signals on 40. But ham radio's fun if you enjoy it. I mean, I sat in the rain under a cover for 2 days. 2 days on a weekend in a contest here. And had fun. That's how much I got into it. I battled the rain, had the XYL bring me down coffee and stuff like that. But it was a great weekend. I enjoyed it. Yeah, 40 metres has been hit and miss here. But after that big solar flare, we're getting some cracking signals like local. Let's just have a look, and that's still Chris talking. So he's, I think Chris is down near Canberra, probably 300 kilometres away. So let's have a look. With the IPO one, that's a normal signal reading for a normal radio. So he's almost 20 over. But in order to reduce all that noise, I like to just run the IPO, which I think is about 10 dB less on a normal radio, and I think that's how we get to have such great noise reduction with the VC tune. We've got the VC tune. With the 101s, one on each VFO, and it's fantastic. Yeah, 40's good. I will just have a look and see who he's speaking to and see what sort of signal they're pushing. But it's amazing speaking to a couple of the guys in the US on 40. He might not be talking to the US. No, maybe the US hasn't come in yet, but usually they congregate here every night. But just speaking to some of the big powerhouses in the US, you know, one station runs 4 hex beams, all co-phased on towers. They all run and turn together. And I think he just put another 2 on, and I think it was Stan, and Stan was saying he's the only station in the world that runs 6 co-phased hex beams. I think it's 6. I know he runs 4, but I'm sure he just recently put 2 more towers in and put another 2 hex beams up. So that's absolutely absolutely amazing to be able to do that. But there is some very big stations in the US, some massive towers. We're limited to about 10 meters here, unless you go through all the building permits and engineering stuff to get one put up in a backyard. But it is what it is. So Anthony, you'll have to we'll have to try again, mate. I don't know. We could have a look tomorrow night, probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock our time, and see if we can make contact. We did hear you the other night, but all we could get was the M7 kilo. I might have got the Juliet, but I couldn't get the last one in. So you almost made a contact, mate, on 10 watts. So it's there. We just probably need to just get the right time, mate, and you'll be able to log a contact here on your 10 watts. So what's everyone else doing? What bands do you like to play on? What's your favourite bands? If you're foundation or what do you took tech class? I forget what classes you guys have in the US. A lot different to our foundations over here. I thought they would have been pretty much similar. Foundation over here can operate on 2 and 70, including analog and digital. 80 metres, 40 metres, 15 and 10 metres as well, but restricted to 10 watts. So they certainly get to play around with the band a bit. Yeah, it would be good, mate. I think it'd push that little barrier for you to get more and more into it, you know. I remember as a foundation making my first overseas contact. I was over the moon, mate. I got to tell you, it was good. And you'll have to jump on, Paul, and say hello, mate. Yeah, I like using 20. 20 seems to be the one at the moment. I do enjoy 10 when 10's in, and 15, but that can be a bit hit and miss lately. But look, all the bands are great if they're working. Yeah, I haven't been on 11 metres for 6 years, I reckon. But I have spoken to a couple of hams that get on 11 metres quite a lot. And when there's nothing happening on the amateur bands, they tell me, I was on the phone to one chap, Scotty, the other night, and he said, having listened to this, and he reckons he was getting 20 and 30 over from stations in Europe on 11 metres. I think he was up around on 27, might have been 555, or it might have been 355, 55. I can't remember. It was either 35 or 55, but I was amazed just how strong some of the 40's pretty good. I actually spend a lot of time on 40 until the band's open. I make it a habit to get on 40 every day, even if it's only for 10 minutes, and put out a few CQ calls. Because I have a little motto, some of you may be aware, you've got to keep our bands alive, and we've got to call CQ, not just sit there and listen. And you never know who might be there. But we've lost a lot of great hams over the last 18 months due to age and illness. And, you know, those people I used to love getting on and having a chat to, we'd get 5 or 6 or 10 people in there having a chat, especially young Jim on a Saturday or Sunday morning. But he recently passed. That was unfortunate, but we got to still keep pushing and keep going. Yeah, 17 meters is all right. I don't mind 30. I like to get on 30 as well when the conditions are running. But 17's good. All the bands are good, especially like the only one I haven't really accomplished with yet. I don't think. I'll have to check my log. I don't think I've made a contact on 6 meters yet. I think that's the only band I haven't been able to add to the log. Every time I jump down there and hear the stations and I get ready, I wait for my turn to be able to come in. It falls away that quick. That's one of the downsides. It comes and goes very quickly. Yeah, well, as I was saying, like this, it's amazing. The 11 metre bands, yeah, they've been so strong. The boys have told me in recent weeks, where you know, they'll tell me they go to 10, 15, 20, and there's nothing. Yet they go back to 11, and their speakers will get blown off. But I know some stations run some pretty big power on 11 metres. You know, so yeah, there you go. See, 100 watts. Yeah, okay, Paul. What was that? A special event call sign, or? I think I've done the United Nations. I know I've done a few special. I've been on the ham clock here. I probably need to return it back on. I do keep an eye out. I probably have to turn it back on. I have to look at putting the de-expeditions in, so that'll tell me where the de-expeditions are. I don't know if I can get that on here at the moment. No, probably not. Oh, here we go. De-expeditions. So we can do that. Activate those. And if I've done that right, that should hopefully, no, I don't think I have. Yep, there we go. So there's the current stations on the air. If those that don't have a ham clock, I do have it on a monitor just up there on the wall, and I have a Geochron Atlas 2B up here on the wall as well. But the great thing with the ham clock, it can give me the features I can't get off the Geochron, which is about 10 times dearer, or probably 20. I can do parks on the air now. I can see parks on the air on that. But de-expeditions, you can see here, I think the green ones for memory are the ones that are active now, and the black ones are the ones that are coming up, or something like that. And I can get that to flag that when they're on, and if conditions are good, then I can go hunting for them and try and get some de-expeditions, some rare ones into the log as well. Contest, there's a 160 metre contest coming up shortly, and there's a Riddy sprint coming up soon. So I've also told it to let me know when the contests are going to be on, when they are. I think if I click on them, it'll probably tell me, yeah, I can go to the web page and find out when exactly it's on and stuff like that. But all great things to have at your fingertips, and that's why I like using Station Master, because I can see everything in one app. I don't have to flick between browsers, and I can even integrate rotators and control them through this app when I get around to getting a PC controller for the rotator. Makes life fun. Okay, UN Club stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah, no worries. There's a contest. There was a contest on this weekend. I think that's why I didn't get on last night, because everyone was just basically looking for numbers and calling. So I don't think there's any US coming in on 40 yet. So it looks like just all VKs. There might be the occasional ZL in there. So,
Time Hotel Whiskey, you're returning. Good evening and thanks for coming back to my call. My name is Hauke. Hauke is spelled Hotel Alpha Uniform Kilo Echo. The QTH is Victor Harbour. Victor Harbour is the south of
yeah, look, it's funny, you know, like everyone says the bands are dead, okay, and look, and at times I'll say they are, especially here in VK. It may not be. It may not be the same over in the US and Europe, because you know, in all consideration, like everything's pretty close proximity compared to where we are here in Australia. You could probably still quite regularly get DX, where here we're limited to when we can get it, just through Mother Nature. So it's good to get on and make those contacts. The rarer the better. It makes it fun, but it's funny, you can always tell when there's a contest on, because 99.9% of the time the bands are absolutely full, and you're struggling to get a part of the band without getting interference. But you can certainly tell when those stop. But even one of the European stations, those that were on the stream the other night, even said to me, you know, well, I think we're 5 and 7 or something, 5 and 6, 5 and 7, somewhere around there, with no QSB, and there was just no one on in Europe. It was just amazing. Usually you're fighting for a space, even in normal DX conditions at times on 20, to get a space. But it's great. We're trying to get Paul VK2 Whiskey to start up his streaming. I've been twisting his arm there. Hopefully Paul will start streaming too. Again, very soon. He's got a few. Paul, why don't you stick your channel up there, mate, in case a couple of people might want to jump over and have a look later. So, another DX contest tonight. Is that in Belgium? Is that phone, Paul? And what is that, all bands as well, or is that limited to a particular band? Yeah. Yes, it's at times I'm sure we could do with a bit more bandwidth. It'd be nice if we got 5 megs. They've been promising it for so long, but it'd be nice if we got 5 megs opened up to us. That'll give us another option, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting to see how that propagates overnight. But we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. Just see if there's any stations from. Looks like they're all just local.
A couple of counterpoints just to bring us help it a bit. 100 watts. I'm only using 100 watts on a 7400.
How's the? I'm assuming that the audio from the radio can be heard all right. I don't need to turn it up anymore. I should have probably asked that an hour or so ago. Oh, mate, talk about pretty average. I think I'm pretty average. We're all going to learn this stuff, mate. It's not like there's a book for it. It's like when I set up the audio from my 101MP. Now we've got the Yanks in there now, the US. 5 and 9 on 40. There you go. Yeah, Paul, we're all got to start somewhere, mate. Good or bad, we all got to start. But it's like when I over here to my right on another hutch. I have an aluminium 8RU rack mount, an open frame, and I've got a Behringer 1204 USB mixer with a 15-band analog EQ, a composer and a compressor, all there that runs the audio chain through this mic here, this radio. This is the radio mic here. It runs through that, and that does the audio on the radio. And geez, the I think 9 months or 10 months, well, even now, 18 months on, I'm still learning it. But it did take me 9 months of pulling my hair out. I did have coloured hair before I started doing it. To get that sorted, and nowhere could I find any videos on how to do it. But I think I've got it working pretty good. I'm happy. I'm now looking at upgrading it to a full digital, a full parametric Behringer. The rack-mounted X32 is what I'm looking at. So, oh, good, thanks. Okay, yeah, so I've got that set pretty good. So signal strength is improving there a little bit. So that's great. Just catch up on a couple of here.
Maybe a little later.
Yeah, phone or bands. Oh, yeah, that's good. So that's when did you say that was from? Was that 1300 UTC? Which is still a couple of hours away. Which should.
That's too bad. And
probably around midnight our time or thereabouts.
I think he just made an excuse. He said he had to go to the phone, but I think that was just his way of telling us that he didn't want to work us anymore. That's fine. I can't complain. It's just great.
Well, I don't know how they'd sound at 1.5.
Yeah, so tell the other station to stick around there.
Because I know when you start going down to 2.4, they get a bit tight, a bit tinny. 1.5, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. There's only one way to find out. That's to try it. I generally broadcast at 3 kilohertz wide. And I still seem to get very good audio reports. I could tighten it up to 2.7, 2.8. And at the moment, I don't see I need to do that. At times I do it just to test it. And if I'm talking to someone and I feel they don't mind, I'll ask them if I just narrow the audio and I'll bring it down. The benefit of bringing your audio down tighter to, around 2.7 or something like that is all your energy is concentrated in a smaller bandwidth, so you'll drive more power, if you like, compared to trying to spread that power out across the width of your audio. So there's the benefits. A lot of people will do around 2.7 because they can push more audio or a bit more power, maybe peak that needle a little bit higher on the receive end, and a little bit more high and mid, and not as much bass or the low end, especially if if you're in a pile-up and you're trying to get through that pile-up, you want the highs and the mids to push you through, and not so much bottom end. So that's what I try to achieve on mine. I don't know, before when I was showing the audio graph on the radio, in this,
very unusual
in this one here,
no worries there, Brian. I'll let you call the other guys back after I let go.
Probably not. I need to do it on that one up there, but
I'll let you call Peter and
the mic. But just to where you see that audio talking there, just to the, I think it'll be your right as well. You'll see that white. It's just a bit overexposed. When I transmit, you can see how that is there. That waterfall's nearly full and even. That's what I do with my audio, even though it's out here at 4K why I transmit, I'm sorry. I'll have that nearly all full as much as I can, so I've got even energy right across the band to help push out that hopefully nice and clean audio.
Definitely listening, over.
But as I said, it did take a while, but it's all about, doing 10 watts as well. If you narrow your bandwidth down to maybe 2.4 or 2.7, that might be equivalent to maybe another 20 watts. When you transmit, because you're really tightening, you're taking your audio from that and disputing the power across that width, and you're really narrowing it down so the concentration is all in this area here, which is forcing more out the antenna, which will help get you get heard that little bit better maybe. And they're just things that you can do, just trial and error to see how it works for you.
And there we go. Oh, anyway, the
absolutely
is doing its job there. I think you said you had no way of getting an amplifier.
Yeah, okay, a polar mod. I'll have to have a look at that. I haven't heard of that. But that's virtually the same thing as tightening up your bandwidth when you transmit. So
you're afraid to get
I was to come in here
because of the neighbors, or was that the situation there? Alex, Vk3AMP W4WMT.
See, I've got total band pass.
The gear in my house,
so I could drop this down here. What's the lowest I can go?
On 40 metres, RF in the shack is, I've got rid of most of it, but
so I can come down to 4 and 26 is the lowest I can go on the bandwidth, which would really tighten that up and really push the peak levels up in the middle. That's if you're running 10 watts, that's another great thing to try on your radio if you can adjust your bandwidth, which a lot of radios you can.
If I can do it.
And it'll make all the difference, especially if you're running that lower power. Yes, probably something similar to what we use in HFC when we're tuning up networks. We use a dot matrix to really center that in and bring the signals into spec. So I'm saying that dot matrix would be the same thing, so you can really focus the energy where you want it.
You'll be going broke buying pieces of
I got a dot matrix on one of my test meters for when I really want to troubleshoot something. I bring up that, and then I can really hone the signal quality and bring it right into spec.
Occasionally, when I've got my audio amplifier here,
we do that unless it's a high-end job.
I do bleed through the speakers a bit. I can just
far between these days. Because once they're done, if they're done right, then it should be set and forget.
10 metres, somewhere there. I can bleed through it a bit.
But so are you looking at doing the polar mod?
Be too greedy, mate.
So what's that consist of? Is that a board, is it? Or
well, that's the only thing that counts. That's why
a board modification to a radio, or is it just an add-on that you connect the mic into and then it connects into the front or back end of your radio?
I'm glad. Sorry to hear about your RF troubles. Well,
that'd be interesting to see.
Well, when you're in a strong RF field like that, the magic is to get the antenna as
I've seen those little tiny
I've been in that same situation where
amplifiers, but
the
I'm sure that's just for boosting output
aerial
power,
is
not
just right above the jack, and then it's
30
hard
watt
to
amplifiers. I'm sure that's this is probably some sort of modulated
hard to,
amplifier, I would assume.
prevent the RF from getting into places where it's not supposed to, and
But there's certainly a lot of things out there in radio world to help improve your receive, help improve your output.
no RF and there's no.
But the most important thing, it really doesn't matter what radio you have. I always think the biggest expense you can ever make is your antenna, and then you can get a radio to suit. But oh yes, I've seen the Flex, and geez, the new Flex. Yeah, I think, and that's also a 500 watt radio, I believe. Yes, I've seen that. I watched the pre-release videos from Flex when they were doing some demos on that. But comes with a nice hefty price tag as well. And yeah, they reckon they've been able to produce, what is it? SB 8K audio. If the memory serves me correct, I might have to go back and visit that. But they reckon the audio quality out of those new radios was second to none. And I don't think it was developed by someone in Flex. I think it was another ham radio operator that developed the program or the hardware and offered it to them to add in that radio if the old memory is leading me up the right path. I know it's somewhere along that, but maybe you can correct me. But yeah, Flex has certainly gone a long way with what they're doing with the radios. But yeah, nice hefty price tag. By the time we go to purchase one here, wow, by the time we pay import, GST, and because it's over $1,000, we've got to pay import duties as well. So that adds probably, based on the radio, probably another $4,000 or $5,000 on it. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe is it a board that fits into the Flex? Is it, or? I might have to have a look at that, because I know that new Aurora that Flex is producing has gone ahead leaps and bounds. But I'll tell you another radio that puts out good audio and certainly good receive is those little Hermes lights through the theatre software. Geez, they certainly work well. Got to be happy with the way they work. Yeah, the new one was built from, it's completely redesigned, internals and everything. Yeah, the new one is, yes. But I'm just a bit lost here with the both of these are Class D amps that do the polar mod at about $180 US. So is this built into the Aurora, you're saying, or is this an add-on for it? Hermes light, yeah. I had one here and until I accidentally cooked the board on it. So I've got to buy a new board for it. And I did have an Unknown 10E, the revised version. I played with that for about a month. And I made up a control cable to plug into the VK-AMP, and I was using it on the amp for a couple of goes. But I don't know, I just went back to feeling more comfortable using the amp on the 101MP. And I ended up moving the 10E on and I sold it here for what I paid for it. So I was very happy with that. Oh, okay. QMax. Oh, yeah. I think that's that little. Is that the little black SDR with the white writing on it? And I think it's a black knob. Little sort of looks like a little small blue, small, like an inch or 2 inch LCD screen. Is that the one? Am I thinking of the right radio? I might have to have a look at that. But if that's if that one's $180, mate, that's for us to land a Hermes Light here before we assemble it. And if you buy the I/O board and that, I think you're looking close to about $700 with the I/O boards and things like that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting. I do want to add a couple of more to the collection. I got a 991A and the I've got some FTM 300, 400, FTM 100D that I use as a donor radio. Anytone 578 for DMR. Oh, I've got half a dozen handhelds, Yaesus and Retrovic and Bowfangs. Got a couple of Bowfangs. I think it's the UV 30 or 52 or something, the one that's designed just for DMR. It looks a copy of the Motorola, I think it's the APX Motorola radios. Got one of those. They've got a few. Got a Motorola P25, I think it's the MTS 5000. And I think the other one might be the MST 2000 or something like that. A car radio for P25. But yeah, I'll have a look at that, the QMX Plus. And C5. Geez, I tell you what, there's quite a few out there. And I believe you got the Square. Is it the Square SDR now, which is similar to the Hermes? And there's another one out similar to the come out before the 10E by Apache Labs, done by a couple of amateurs in Ukraine. That's a 20 watt version of a Hermes as well, and I think that does 6 meters as well. The 10E does 6 meters, but the Hermes Light doesn't. Yeah, if you have a look, I was looking at them the other day, trying to find a price on one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they call it the Square, and it's a similar to the Hermes Light as well. But I think that might be 15 watt radio. But yeah. Look, for a ham radio guy, if you're into SDR or if you're just into your standard radios, there's certainly a big selection out there. And I tell you what, the new Flex, that'd be a nice little one to have in the shack. I think they're 500 watts. But you know, it's an endless pit. I mean, geez, if you had the money, you probably wouldn't know where to stop, right? I know every time I look, I go, geez, I wouldn't mind that in the shack, and then I start putting a little bit away here and there, and hopefully we can add that. So, yeah, yep, yeah, I've seen that, and you can run that on all their radios. I did buy an amp through Retrovis. It was a clone. Everyone's selling the same one, and I got it, and I waited 4 weeks for it to arrive, and I plugged it all in, and it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't select bands. It wouldn't do anything, and So I got onto them. They got me to open it up, and one of the chips had burnt. So I don't know whether that was through testing or they done something to it. I don't know, but I bought that to run on the Hermes light, so I was very disappointed with that. And at about so I ended up sending that back, getting me money back. They were going to send me a replacement, but yeah, sort of once bitten, twice shy, right? But with the VK-AMP here, a kilowatt, I think it does about 1.3, depending what band. If I put 5 watts into that, I'll get about 250 out. So I think that's plenty, right? It's a lot better than 5 watts. And if I was to, they recommend every 6 months open it up, take the cover off and just clear out any dust out of the fans and stuff. If I was to do that, I could unscrew the 10 dB attenuator, and 5 watts would give me probably close to the maximum output of the amp. But unfortunately I can't do that because we've only got a 400 watt limit here, which we hope to change. But we'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah, it never ends, absolutely. But lucky I've got a pretty good partner. She's into collecting, restoring antique dolls, and my 12-year-old is as well. So I get to play radio. Yeah, the amp, the beautiful looking amp, and there's like I think it's a 12-week wait. I think 6 or 12-week wait for them at the moment. They're very big and very popular in the US. Yeah, they are. Paul, do you have one? Do you have a VK amp? Now, Paul's a flex man. He loves his flex radio. I tell him it's too much radio for him to handle and he should just give it away. I'll be able to pick it up. But somehow he doesn't believe me. Nice rig they are. I do like them. I do like looking at them, and I like the remote head. I forget what they call it. Is it Majesto or Majesto or something? The remote head. Very good. Yeah, nice, mate. Nice. Did you get the 1K or the 2K? I was silly. I found out for an extra about $600 I could have bought the 2K. So I was a little bit kicking myself, but look, it is what it is. I've got 2 more amps here, one tube amp and an old Heath kit SB230, still good for about 500 watts. And I've got an old Yaesu FTdx 2000, I think. Got 4 little tubes in it. And geez, I get some good audio reports on that. Makes the audio sound superb. Tube amplifiers. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, I wish. Well, now the next question: did you get the air cooled, or like the 1K, or did you with the 2K water cooled out? I just would have went the 2K air cooled because I didn't want to spend all that extra to get the water cooled, although it would be a great feature. But I haven't seen mine go over, what's it sitting at now? Mine hasn't gone much over, I think about 42, the highest I've seen mine. And that's using it for like 2 hours at, like 60 degrees in here. And I've had no complaints thus far with it. I just do have to be mindful that if I switch another radio in, if I put another radio on, that I make sure if the amp's on. Yeah, cool. Air cooled. Yeah, that's what this is. And the fan's not really that bad neither. That yeah, if I put another radio in, I used to use a switch, a 2-position switch, and switch 2 radios in. But then I found out the switch just didn't have the isolation that it should have, so I quickly removed that out of the system, even though I only do the 10 watts through the switch. But it was that bad that I could have I could have another radio on and be switched and have it have that isolated, but still see 20 over 9. If someone was 20 over 9 or 10 over 9 or whatever, still see them being received with no antenna. So the isolation on that was absolutely crap. Yeah, they are good on temperature. You've got good fans in it. But Onda does recommend every 6 months just to drop the cover off and clean the dust out. So I'll do that and make sure the fans keep running at their maximum potential. Anyway, how many we got? Is that 42 currently viewing? I'm not too sure, but I think we might leave it there, guys. It's nearly 10 o'clock here in the evening. Look, it's great that we just stopped here and had a bit of a chat and spoke about some gear. But as I said, tomorrow, depending on the weather, I might get out to the park and put up a couple of the antennas I've got and maybe just record some stuff. We might do a park activation and we'll upload that and show you the antennas we use. With a bit of luck, we might be able to work some DX. Maybe if we go a bit later in the afternoon, might be able to work some DX on there. If conditions pick up a little bit better, I'm gonna try just getting out with 5 watts and see if we can make some contacts with 5 watts and just see how it all is. But good on you, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day, and those that are evening, have a great evening. Stay safe. Enjoy the hobby. You know, have a go at building antennas and trying different things. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as I do. I mean, I've been in radio since I was 5 years old, and I've only been a ham for about 4 years. So I really enjoy it, and I try and pass on what little knowledge I have to whoever wants to listen. And I also try and take in as much knowledge and information as I can as well to help better me in what I like to do. But until next time, 73s, all take care, stay safe, and most of all, thanks for stopping by. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it, and thanks very much. Take care. Until next time.
Yo, we got the mic, we got the vibe. It's all about the signals and the ways we ride. AM radio, dreaming, listen close, take flight. Let's populate the bands, we're calling all night. From coast to coast with my antenna high. Calling CQ guys up in the sky. Down under vibes, watch the waves collide. VK3AMP here, it's a ham ready to ride. More rumpus, ready to boast. Burning up the air, just like toast. I'm the captain of the ship, make sure you know. Keep calling CQ, that's how we flow. CQ, CQ, let the signal flow. Populating HF, let the world know. From 10 meters to 80, we're keeping it tight. CQ is the call, yeah, we're lit tonight. Got my buddies across the globe, reaching out through the ether. We're making this shout, ham radio fam, ain't no doubt. Keep the bands alive, let's twist and sprout. Got laughs and stories, we're spinning the wheel. Doing it with style, flipping dials and real. Every contact's gold, I'm chasing the thrill. Sipping on soda, got time to kill. CQ, CQ, let the signal flow. Populating HF, let the world know. From 10 meters to 80, we're keeping it tight. CQ is the call, yeah, we're lit tonight. So here's the mission, staying in sync when it comes to the bangs. We'll never blink, shout out to the friends wherever they roam. In this ham world we got a home, stacking up contacts, making it right. All the noise fading under the moonlight. Keep the mic hot, don't ever slow. One big worldwide ham radio show. CQ, CQ, let the signal flow. Populating HF, let the world know. From 10 meters to 80, we're keeping it tight. CQ is the call, yeah, we're lit tonight. So grab grab your rig, let's chase the sound. Keep those frequencies buzzing with glory bound. In this world of wires, laughter's our thread. Calling CQ, let's keep the bands fit.